Showroom Stock C is renowned for producing some of the closest racing at the national championships, and last year was no exception. At the start, things got, well, shall we say, real competitive early and shuffled a number of the top qualifiers back. A bit further back, Bill Haggerty went off track and rejoined the party in a big, if perhaps not well-considered way, taking out several competitors, and some gave him a good scolding, like Joe McLuhan. Behind the leader, Roger Schreier took a run at the 81 of Joel Lipperini for second. But on lap 18, riding with then second place Jim Daniels, he cleared the way, moving Ryan Chichanski right out of the lead and went on to take the checkers. But officials saw the final results a bit differently because of that incident, and the win went to Joel Lipperini. In Showroom Stock C this year, the key word might be variety. A number of different manufacturers are represented, some old, some new. One of the stalwarts is Honda. Bill Haggerty was the silver medalist in 1992 in Showroom A. Since then, he's come close, but 6 wins gave him his divisional championship this year. It's maybe his year at the runoffs. For defending Showroom B champ Jim Lighthouser, huge change. He steps to Showroom C and moves from BMW to the Mazda 3. Didn't get as many races to develop it, but finished strong with 2 wins. Maybe momentum is on his side. For our defending national champ, Joe Lipperini, well, he won the title last year, of course, won a number of races and track records this year, but not a one of them in this car. This Mini is only 2 weeks old. Our defending champ is rolling the dice for gold this year. Oklahoma City's John Saucier is going with another stalwart in the class, the Mazda protege. He had a dominant run to the divisional championship in Midwest Division this season. Or how about number 5, Ken Payson, another Honda Civic, the 82 champ. He started off his racing in 1970 as an autocrosser. Or our Southwestern champ is number 36, Joe McLuhan. He was the one taken out by Haggerty. 4 wins this year. He's back. It's time to begin the third and final day of this 42nd running of SCCA's national championships. It's the runoffs, often referred to as the Olympics in motorsports. And the chase for the medals about to begin is Showroom Stock C. Hi, everybody, and welcome for the 12th consecutive year for this great event to the beautiful Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. Great to have you with us. I'm Greg Kramer, and I'm joined again by Dan Biggs, who has, 13 times crewed somebody to a championship with the likes of Tommy Kendall, Ron Fellows, Formula Ford driver, and you've been driving some of your old Roush Trans Am equipment in historic racing, haven't you?
I have. That's been a lot of fun in the off time. Here we have the track map. And with these cars, you need to set up your passes. They're all so even. You need to be careful through turn 1, line up your pass for turn 2, or set up for turn 4. You need to give it up a little bit in 2, shoot down the straightaway, and just try to draft by the guy into turn 4. The S's have been very tricky. The track's a little bit green over the top of the hill there. You need to really watch it.
All right, and we talked about the fact Showroom Stock about to begin, and this is usually a huge fun quotient class. Tell us a little bit about it.
These are stock cars only with safety modifications, roll cages, fire systems, things like that. Tire choice in this class, big deal.
It's going to be a very big deal indeed. And we got a big field, too, which is going to make it exciting. And for a little bit more on some of the competitors, let's meet the first of our pit reporters, Sandy Hang.
Well, this is a full class, and there's always the race at the front. There's races in the middle, and there's races in the back. And Jim Place is part of that. He's 73 years young. He's been club racing for 48 years. He just switched from the Honda Civic to the Mini this year. He says he loves it. Supercharged, got a lot of guts. Hey, guys, it's one of the people I want to be like when I grow up. Let's go to my colleague, Chris Devoto, who's down on the false grid.
Thanks, Sandy. We're talking about another one of these Mini Coopers. This is Tony Nezzo's car, and his crew was actually just inside seconds ago trying to fix the radio, so communications might be a problem for him today. But Tony Nezzo knows how to drive these Mini Coupes. He actually gave Mini Cooper its first professional podium this year at Watkins Glen in Grand Am Cup. He and his co-driver passed 51 cars en route to third place. Guys?
That's a busy day in the office, and he's going to be out for it once again here as a large field, as we pointed out, will be taking off in just a few minutes. You're going to meet them when we come back to Mid-Ohio. Coverage of the 2005 SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by High Endurance Oils from Mobil, the oil that's changing oil. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio, everybody. It's a big field. We want to get you right to our starting lineup. And as we take a look at our top 10, we've got Pete Taylor, you've got the defending champ up front. Renee Marinitz, a great story, third in her division, is qualified third, seventh in his division. Dick Boning is outside of that second row. Then we got some guys that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Perhaps they're in 8th and 9th, Joe McLuhan and Bill Haggerty. Remember, Haggerty nerfed McLuhan right off the top of the S's early in the race last year. And we saw in the open McLuhan shaking his finger at him side by side. That should be interesting. But Dan, I think one of the bigger stories is the fact that there's a guy who's outside of the top 20. Yeah,
starting 22nd is Jim Lighthouser. He is the 2004 SSB champion, and now he's driving his Mazda 3, and he said the transition's been a little harder than expected.
Not a lot of time to develop it was another thing I heard. They made the switch, and obviously that's got to be a big change. Now, we've got some onboards we want to show you. Starting up front is going to be Joel Lipperini, again qualified in the second spot. He's our defending champ in that Hankook Tire Mini Cooper. So we're going to be getting some great shots from him. There he is, right up near the front of this thing, joined by the other Mini up front. And then we're going to also ride on board with Ryan Sachansky, who was leading starting that last lap last year in this car, the Hoosier Tire Honda Civic SI, before Jim Daniels bumped him out of the way. So got a couple of guys with submissions to go after here. Sandy Hang, what's going on in pit lane?
We haven't talked a lot about the pole sitter, Pete Taylor. He actually made a car switch this week from a Neon to a Mini. That's allowed as long as it's legal. You can race one car during the season and race another during the runoffs. That's actually happening. He also made a tire switch from Hankook to Hoosiers. So we'll see how that plays out a little bit later. Krista?
Well, all of these drivers have a lead foot, but what about a lead finger? John Sauché was actually antique shopping here earlier in the week. He found an old BB gun. It wasn't working, so he stuck his finger in the barrel, and yeah, it works all right. The BB was lodged in his finger. He said he's already taken it out, though. He took his knife, his pocket knife, and just lodged it right out of there. I said, the important question, John, did you buy the gun? He said, no way, guys.
Ouch. Normally, antique shopping just hurts the pocketbook.
Yeah, normally you don't shoot yourself in the finger. So
maybe in the foot, unintentionally, but not in the finger. Tough go there. So, well, that's another challenge, I guess, we're going to add up for him here at this stage. So, you know, we've also been talking a little bit off and on. You've heard us mention Triple Crown. Well, just a bit earlier in the weekend, we asked Sandy Hang to perhaps explain what that's all about.
This is what every driver wants to see. This is where every driver wants to be. It's a championship, the podium here at the runoffs. But some drivers challenge themselves to even more than a good ending to the season. They want a good beginning, middle, and ending. And that means going after the Triple Crown. To win the Triple Crown, first, you have to be the June Sprints champion. Next, you've got to clinch the Division Points Championship. And finally, become the national champion to win the Triple Crown.
Well, we're riding on board with Ryan Sachansky, and the reason is he's Triple Crown eligible. He won the sprints and did it big, by the way. He also has won his division, and as I said, he's on a personal mission after what happened last year when he got punted out of the lead here late in the going to add this national championship. If he can do it this year, Dan, he gets 3 times the kudos, I guess.
Right, I watched the warm-up. He's very focused. He was one of the quickest cars in the warm-up. He's got his eyes set on the big trophy. That's his only goal, win the big deal.
Well, he certainly is capable of doing it here. Now he's sitting in 5th. Now there is the shooter.
Yeah, the shooter.
John Sauché was, from what I hear, that thing spread through the paddock fairly quickly, and he spent a lot of time walking up to people with his head down because he knew what was coming. But hey, it's a big story, obviously, especially if you dig it out with your own pocket knife. That tells you something about race drivers.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect him here today. He's focused on his job and looking for a good start here.
Pace car has moved off. Pete Taylor in that yellow Hoosier Tire Mini is going to bring him up with the defending champ, Joel Lipperini, on his left shoulder here as we hop on board with Sachansky, who did a nice job in qualifying as well. Keep in mind, qualified in that 5th spot. Through the keyhole they will go. Remember, they start here at Mid-Ohio on the long back straight. Give them a little bit more time to get sorted out before they head into the S's. So far this weekend, that hasn't always played out real well.
Yeah, it seems like the Mini has pretty good power, so he might bring him down a little bit slow. That's what it looks like. And it's got low-end torque with that supercharger.
I was going to say the Cooper S is what they're running, so it is the one with the supercharger. So away we go. The green flies, and you saw Cichanski. He went for it and went for it aggressively. He's already up to third by that second row, and here he comes, trying to work through the outside of Lipperini, 3 abreast. Cichanski dropping the hammer. He had good momentum. Taylor down to the inside. Lipperini there, but look at Cichanski work the outside. We're up on board. There he goes. He is now up into second. Not going to get Taylor, but still a great start from 5th to 2nd.
Wow, can you believe that? He had a big jump. It looked like the Mini slowed him down, and he just got a good jump on the inside. Got a car off there, the 13.
That's Tony Nuzzo, who's gone off. Also, the 33 has had a problem, Justin Poole. But we saw a couple other cars as well, just off in the grass. There's the 17 of Barry Brown. So, awful lot of activity happening. Watch what happens here.
It just gets bottled up there, and it's not very good going up the hill there, and they just bumped into each other. Looked like the Mini bumped into the Honda there, and around he went in front of the field. These guys doing a good job to miss him. And the guys behind there just have to back it up a little bit, and it looks like maybe a couple other cars missed.
That was 13 Nuzzo. Now here's the other incident. That's 06 Start.
Yeah, and he's in trouble there. He's going to slide right in front of the field. Oh, big ride for the 33. That car's got some front end damage. Looks like the wheel's bent.
There's a 33, and oh, this is the 07 of Chad Gilsinger. The Honda R&D Kumho Tire Civic has gone inverted, and we are under a full course caution, and with cars in the gravel, cars off, and a car on its roof. Good call there indeed. So we're under a full course caution, and Gilsinger, that's the definitive rough ride when that happens.
Yeah, what happens here is you get into the gravel and the car digs in, and these cars are heavy enough, they dig in pretty deep, and it just tips you over. Probably not a lot of damage to the car, but enough to not run today.
I saw a couple of guys there that were swapping positions, and I'm sure they'll write that here. It was under the full course caution, but you get your race face on and you don't catch that sometimes right when those doubles cautions fly. So we're on board now with Ryan Cichanski, who sits in second. A tremendous start, and he's going to make a fight of this Showroom Stock Seat National Championship runoff. More when we come back.
A lot of drivers say they were born to race. Well, Rob Pekarsik was racing after he was born. His mother and father brought him home from the hospital in his dad's Ford Pinto. Now, that was the era before child car seats, and now he's in the seat of his own here, qualifying for his first runoffs. What's it like to make it here?
So exciting to be here. It's such a long year, a lot of stuff, up and downs, but, you know, we're here and we're excited to be here, and it's just an honor to be part of all this.
And 26 years after coming home from the hospital in his dad's race car, he's qualified, and Bob and Holly, his mom and dad, will be with him in pit lane.
And welcome back. It's nice to see those kind of stories, obviously. Start from basically it's almost ingrained when you're really young, and it's inevitable, isn't it?
It is. I'm basically from the same thing. My dad raced a bug-eyed Sprite in SCCA, and here I am working on professional cars now.
That's how it goes. You start off somewhere, and oftentimes it's SCCA when it comes to motorsports. That's pretty cool. As we sit on board with Ryan Cichanski right now, he sits in the second place, and he had an absolutely incredible start from 5th up to 2nd and just timed his start perfectly, but the guy in front of him was able to hang on. And Sandy, I understand you're with his crew chief.
I'm with David Thoker. He doesn't like to be called the crew chief because Pete's kind of like his own crew chief. But tell me, what are you thinking about the restart, and how does Pete handle sitting at the start of the pack during a restart?
Pete's a real strong starter. He's going to love the restart. It'll be close. That Honda has a lot of power. It'll be interesting down in turn 5.
We'll be watching. Let's go down to Krista.
We are down here in the pit of Joel Lipperini, car number 1, currently in 3rd place. Nicole Cooper, the longtime girlfriend of Joel. What is he saying on the radio? Is he nervous? Are you nervous right now for this restart?
He's not too nervous. I'm more nervous than him, definitely. He's not saying much. He keeps quiet usually when he concentrates. But that's it.
Now, of course, your last name is Cooper. That's not the reason he drives a Mini Coupe, is it?
No, but that's why I always wanted a Mini Cooper. Now he has one.
All right, we'll be wishing you the best of luck this race, Nicole.
Thank you.
That's a good point. Normally at SCCA Club Racing, whoever's got the headset on talking to the driver, that's the crew chief. Watch this start here. Check this out by Cichanski. He's sitting in the 5th spot right now.
You can see he laid back just a little bit, jumped on the gas, perfect. Got a clean shot between the 2 front runners here, and we've seen some shots around the outside here.
And now we are back underway with a green flag as we're at it, and he's at least able to hang on. Now he pops to the outside, and he knows you can go quick around this corner. He did it once before. Not quite enough this time. Gets right up behind Taylor. Looks to the inside. He knows that's not on. Backs out of it and lets Taylor have his way. But at least now Taylor knows he's there.
Yeah, Taylor needs to be really careful because that Honda's fast down the straightaway, and it looks like it's good under the brakes. And he actually had a move on the inside there, and he got the door shut on him.
The car at fourth right now, Dan Wallachy started 12th. So he had a start way better even than Sachanski's to get up that strong. On board with Sachanski, looking back at Liparini in third. The Civic splitting the two Coopers at this place. And now we're on board with Liparini and the Hankook Tire Mini looking up at Sachanski and sitting. That is your top three on board with third, second, and first just in front. Into the carousel.
You can see these cars use all of the road, trying to set it up to run down the straightaway, hit the curb on the inside there, and he's right on that Mini.
Sachanski had a great line through the exit of the carousel, and Liparini right with him at this stage. And down the front straight there, you see the scoring pavilion and pagoda, and now into the very quick turn one.
It looks like these cars leaving turn one, some of the front-wheel drive cars are a little bit harder on the front tires, and you can see the Honda shot through there, got a little better shot.
Boy, he got a good run. He's moving to the outside. They're side by side, but outside into the keyhole is a tough place. You can ease ahead here in braking as you straighten out that brake zone a little bit, but then it's the long way around, and Taylor nose is right back in front. Now we'll have to see what kind of run Sachanski got out of it. Looks like Taylor actually was a little quicker at the exit.
Yeah, Taylor just slowed him down a little bit in the middle and got a good shot off, and Sachanski had no choice but to fall into second there.
Liparini sits in third, watching for any opportunity up front here. The top three have opened up a little gap over Wallachy, and then Naimi sitting in the fifth spot. Ooh, Sachanski, bit of a wiggle there.
Yeah, it looks like the Honda carries a lot more speed around the corner. It looks like they might need to wait a little bit for the Mini to turn. The front tires on the Mini are going to be the story. If they hang on, that's going to be the story. They were a little concerned about some of the other choices, and they went with these Hoosiers. We'll see what happens.
Well, this is a class that has a lot of tire diversity in it, and it's one, what brand you choose, two, what compound of that brand you choose, and then how your car works with that. It's just an awful lot to deal with, and the top three doing it well. Mid-Ohio, for the 12th consecutive year, the site for SCCA's National Championship Chase, the SCCA Runoffs. And this is Showroom Stock C unfolding here at this great track, and we've got a great race. Fitting of it, if you will, as we're on board with Joel Liparini. And again, you see the Honda of Sachanski up front, looking outside and trying to this time square up and get a little bit better drive. When he got trapped outside last time, it slowed him up on the exit. This time, Dan, is a much better line through the last third of that corner.
He wasn't going to let him pull that move twice, so he lined it up and did the best job he can. His car is definitely faster through turn one, but he hasn't been able to find a way to get down the back straightaway into turn four faster than our leader there, Taylor.
Well, you said it. Those Minis look to be pretty quick in a straight line. That red car is number 7. Remember, Haggerty, and that is he's running in 9th. Remember, he was the guy who went off right here last year, ran wide, and then came back on right at the top of the S's. And that guy right behind him, the number 36, that is McLuhan, and that's the guy that he clubbed as they came on. And these guys still running very closely together. Here is the 76 of Richard Boning, and he continues to run in that 8th spot. Just in front of him, the 44 of Marinus as they cycle down to the corner. Marinus a little wide, and Boning thinking about it, but not able at this stage to get close enough to make a run at it. But a good scrum going on right here. Really, it starts with the number 37 of Davis, and then we move back. But there's 44 is Marinus, then Boning, and right behind that black Honda is the car. There he is. Number 7 is Haggerty, and then the 36 of McLuhan at this stage. And boy, these guys are running very close.
You can see they're running close together all over the track. McLuhan, he's just looking for a better race than he had last year. He's had a tough go, and he's actually running in a decent spot right there, top 10. All these spots ahead of him are going to be tough, though. I'm
guessing just on a personal level, he'd like to get by that red number 7, and just for him, if nothing else. And he, too, the number 7 is Haggerty, and right behind him, McLuhan, has made the switch this year to the Mazda 3. A lot of people feel that that's a car, when it's really tricked and developed, is going to be pretty strong. Certainly in the hands of Marinus, it qualified very well, so the speed seems to be there.
Yeah, it looks like there's about 6 or 7 of those new cars here, and I think they're a little bit of teething pains with a brand new car, but once they get it worked out, they'll be in good shape.
Looks a little boxier than some of the other cars out there, so it may not be the best in terms of aero, but the handling and power, they say, is really strong.
Right, I think, you know, they're trying to figure out which tire works best with each of these cars, and once they figure that stuff out, they're going to be a lot better.
Now we're going to drop back a couple of spots here. There's the number 70. That is Sam Ryan battling for the 12th spot with Ray and Delude close at hand and not too far adrift to them. Right behind Delude is the 32 there of Porter. Whoa, big tank slapper by 34. Larry Ray just got in a little hot.
Yeah, it looked like both those cars got in pretty hot. He was carrying the rear tire, and it just transferred too much weight to the back and spun him out.
Can you have a tank slapper in car racing?
I think you can.
It sure looked like it right there.
You can see both the neons were trying to, the second neon was trying to miss the first one there when he got wide, and they both were hanging that rear tire up in the air. They're front wheel drive, and they transfer all the way to the front, and it just looked like it transferred too much. He drove off the road.
Porter was able to sneak by, and now that is 06 start right in front of Ray at this stage. Meanwhile, we get back up in the second spot on board with Sachansky, and that margin has been no more than what it is right now. As a matter of fact, Sachansky has dropped back about as far as he's been, Sandy.
Well, Dan Halicki and Ryan Sachansky, just FYI, guys, they're from the same division, actually both from Sterling Heights until Ryan just moved this summer. He's getting ready to get married. They've been racing each other all season. So while, yes, Sachansky's going for the Triple Crown and the victory, there's a lot going on between these two. And if they ever close the gap and get close together, watch out.
Well, Sachansky, as you pointed out, Dan, going in, it seems through turn one into the keyhole. He's a little bit quicker coming out of the keyhole. That pure horsepower drive looks like it still favors the minis a bit. Oh, and look at this close battle here. That's number 40. And number 14, Ali Namey, has gone by and picked up that 4th spot. Walicki has dropped back to 5th. But he's going for it. He's going to give it a try here. Namey drifts over just a little bit to protect. Walicki looks to the outside, but Namey's got that car really placed pretty perfectly right there, you know, like, you know, 7 to block.
Yeah, he needs to be careful here. These guys behind him are going to take his spot too if he's not careful here.
37 to Davis, another of the minis is right there, and just behind him is 44, the 3rd place qualifier for this one, Renee Meredith. So good racing behind that lead group for sure. We go back up front. Sachansky still chasing our pole sitter, Pete Taylor.
Hey, check this out.
Wow.
That's a great design.
That is nice.
How about this one?
Ooh, I like that.
This is our latest. Cuts right through the air.
I'll take it.
Introducing the Mazda Speed 6. 274 horsepower, all-wheel drive. Some people just take performance a little more seriously than others. The Mazda Speed 6, part of the exciting Mazda 6 lineup.
Showroom Stock C under contest here at the Runoffs of Mid-Ohio at the green flag. It got busy right away. The number 13 of Nuzzo, bit of a spin, may have got nudged and got around in front of the pack. Collected a few other people, but everybody able to drive off of that one. But then it got a little bit more interesting even. Ali Namey, 06 Tom Start ran wide, came on, squeeze play for number 5 Payson, and it launched 33 Justin Poole into the gravel trap. Almost over, but not. But for 07 Chad Gilsinger, over it was. And he was able to, he's okay, he's out of the car, I believe. And you can see that the workers just trying to get that car righted. It caused a caution when we went back to racing. A big moment by the 34th, Larry Ray, the tank slapper as we called it. Everybody able to scooch around him and be all right. And then number 1, Joel Lipperini in 3rd place, turn 1. It is so quick over there, and you miss your mark just a little bit. You get a little off course, and good to get front drive.
Well, I think he saw the Honda was carrying a lot more speed through turn 1, and he tried to do the same thing, and over the curb he went.
Here's our battle once again for what is the 4th spot, Naemi and Walicki, and then the scrum behind him starting to be led by Meredith now. But we go back up, Naemi and I'll tell you, Naemi got by Walicki but was not able to do anything at this stage. Naemi has not been able to get away. Krista?
Yeah, we are down here with the crew chief for Ali Namey, John Griffiths, and you guys are picking up a couple positions up to 4th. What do you think's going on out there?
Up to 4th, well, his Mazda 3 is hooking up, and he's running on the Kumo tires, which I think are going to outlast the other ones. So we're hoping for a real good top podium finish today.
All right, thanks, John. And yeah, guys, we heard tires could be the issue in this race, and I think this battle for fourth could be the best battle out on the track right now.
So that's a very, very, this tire battle, I guess, is a thing that I was trying to set up a little bit. It's huge, especially in these showroom stock classes.
It is. The cars are all different. There's front drive and rear drive cars, and they're different on their tires. So the choice for the front drive car might not be the choice for the rear drive car. The battle for the lead here is getting a little bit tight again. Looked like he might have taken care of his tires in the Honda there, Shashansky, and or maybe Taylor's are going off. Oh, he's in there.
No, he did that once before and had to just dip the brake to not get into the backup. But Shashansky backed off a little bit. He just threw down a lap, a 147.717, which was quicker than Taylor by about 3/10. So that margin that was up by almost 7/10 of a second, now down to well under half a second. And Shashansky, that was a very quick lap. We're hearing reports it may be a new race lap record, not the qualifying record. It didn't beat that yet. But that tells you that they're going awfully quick in this class right now with Limperini's off. Right now it's mano a mano between these two.
Yeah, they're just taking it one turn at a time, and if one guy messes it up, the other guy gains on him. I think if Shashansky can get by him, it'll be all over.
Working the carousel, and ooh, Taylor a little wide there, and that's going to give Shashansky a good run here. Taylor covers to make sure Shashansky doesn't get a wide open run. But we would think the way that Shashansky's been running through turn one and down that back chute, that entering the keyhole may be his best opportunity. We'll watch for the exit of one here. Here, oh boy, he got a good drive out of there again.
Yeah, that Mini has got some good power, but I think the torque runs out at near here. About the same on the brakes. The Mini runs wide here, leaving usually. That's what he's been doing the last couple of laps. We'll see what happens.
Shashansky tucks it in a little tighter, rolls into the throttle, watching the exit, and right there the Mini, boy, just off the turn, just pulls him, and that's huge, launching onto that large back straight. The SCCA Runoffs in Mid-Ohio, there's nothing better. And you get to enjoy it 23 times with all the classes that are run here. And this one is Showroom Stock C. Always produces some of the most fun and excitement. Normally up front you get a little bit bigger train than two cars in this one, but nonetheless these two have been putting on an absolutely fabulous show so far, and we're at halfway.
Yeah, halfway's a big story. This is where the tires and the brakes are going to start to get hot. If you've abused your tires early, it's going to show up here shortly.
There's the accordion under braking heading into the carousel, or into the carousel, and then launching onto the pit straight. And Shashansky has tailed off a little bit. He closed that margin up to about 2/10 of a second last time by start finish, but this time it's up to over a half, and the reason is Taylor ran a lap about a half second quicker than Shashansky. It's just, that's the simple math of it here. And boy, Taylor seems to be able to respond when he needs to. Going back in the pack just a little bit, a good battle for 13th there. That's 32 of Porter and 06 Tom Start. And they're having a good scrum as well. Start in one of those Mazdas, and Porter still driving one of the older Neons, but real competitive.
Yeah, those Neon cars are, 4, 5, 6 years old now, and they're still eligible for this class, but the new cars are starting to overtake them a little bit.
Ralph Porter, second in the Central Division this year, has a couple of wins, and for John Start, that's the ST Controls Mazda 3. He was fifth in his division, also Central, one win. And these two have been following, and then there's the 70 right behind them of Sam Ryan. And Sandy, what's going on with John Start?
Well, I'm with John Start's mother, Joan. 17 years old, your son, and he's showing a lot of maturity in this race. What are you thinking about watching this for pit lane?
I'm very excited and thrilled for him. He's worked very hard. He loves the sport, and he's enjoying himself.
Does he talk to you at all on the radio?
Well, he got hit on the first turn, so he qualified 10th and he's fallen back now. He's worked up a little bit, he's in 13th, but he had a little trouble with the car. The steering is off, and so...
Well, not bad for just making a pass there. Pretty nice.
He's a good driver. We're very proud of him, very proud.
And you can see his mother is proud, keeping his times, and she's watching patiently here from pit lane, guys.
They only began racing last year and be running national level already. That says something about his talent. That was a veteran pass he made going into the S's.
My guess is he's been watching some of these other races and watched the rim shots around the outside down there. And you can see the 32 is not giving up here.
Meanwhile, here's the number 36. This is McLuhan, and he's gone around Haggerty. So those are the guys that had that little duel last year. This is currently the battle for the 8th spot, and McLuhan's got it with Haggerty right behind him at this stage as they come walking up the front straight. There up front is the 76 of Lighthouser, and then there's the 36 right there of McLuhan as they work through. I'm sorry, I said the 76 is Dick Moning, obviously, who's sitting in that 8th spot right now. And you go back and find it anywhere here in this big field of 33 cars, there is some exceptional racing going on. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio for the SCCA's Runoff Showroom Stock C is the class that's being contested. 3 medals to be given out, but just participating is wonderful enough. We're on board with the guy in second. He's been chasing Pete Taylor a long time, and Sandy, Pete's driving away a little bit.
Pete has been driving away. Actually, his crew members have been taking the times. He got faster, if you can believe that, during the middle of the race, falling back just so slightly the last lap. But they're curious how these Hoosiers are going to last because they made the big gamble and switched right before the race.
Well, that's what you do sometimes. I mean, you hear a word, you get a gut feeling, you have whatever it is that maybe something's just a little bit better, and if you want to win, you got to go for it.
Yeah, I'm sure the crew and the driver made the decision. They looked at what they had, and I talked to Bruce Foss from Hoosier, and he said they thought they had a great tire for this class.
Well, it's certainly looking like it right now as they're 1-2 up front, low and back in the pack a little bit. There's the number 7. Oh, Haggerty, number 7, real squirrely. Carried a lot of speed into the S's, and on that edge where there's a couple of people that have hit that puddle and they drag some of that junk back up on the track, and you get into that, it's going to skate on you, and he almost lost that spot to number 42, Niffenegger, right behind him.
The 09 looks like there's some big damage. Sandy?
Here for his parents. You know, I mentioned them earlier. Bob and Holly help him here in the pits. He had an incident with another car on the track, and the fender is in. There's too much tire rub. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to go back out, but at least he's had a good run, and his parents are here with him, guys.
Yeah, we just saw the old universal slash across the neck, meaning that's it, we're done, and that is a sad thing. You can just see it just in the eyes, the disappointment there. This race means a lot, and not finishing it really smart.
Well, you spend all year working on your car, and you spend 10 days here trying to get your car fast, and you know, to end like that's tough.
Or like this is 7 Haggerty, and once he got squirrely, I don't know whether he just could get back in his rhythm or whatever, but he's now off in the gravel here as we are at 3/4 distance, 5 to go, and Bill Haggerty is crawling out. That car is stuck and going nowhere without help.
Yeah, you need to be careful getting out here and make sure there's no cars coming. You don't want to have any trouble like that.
Meanwhile, we jump back to the battle here for third. That's the 31 right there that is running very strong. John Sachet. He's the guy who was digging pellets out of his fingers and is in the middle of a pretty good battle back here for the 21st spot. That's Ray, then Sachet, and then Payson.
Pretty tight racing here.
Oh, Sachet taking a run, going way down to the inside. That's not going to happen. But he did force the 34 of Ray in just a little bit hot, but not going to be enough. Sachet is immediately under attack here now. I think that's 38th place at this stage, but there's a good look at John Sachet.
Krista, do you have something for us?
Yeah, guys, 25, David Thornton out of Erie, PA. His day is done. I believe you're taking a look at the tire damage, the right front car. The official said too much damage. He is not going to be able to make it back out in this race. You saw the 09, he's still on pit lane. They're trying to make repairs to get that car back out there, but the 25, David Thornton, is done. And so he's getting out of the car right now, but unfortunately this is a sad story because these guys, this is what they're here for all week, the last day of the runoffs, and his day is done early.
Yeah, some pretty substantial contact up front there, so they bumped into something pretty good.
Yeah, I think that was just on the first lap. I saw the wheel damage there just going over the hill.
Meanwhile, we hop back on board with Sachansky sitting in the 2nd spot, and he's still trying to chase down Taylor. But Taylor goes, he really squares up, diamonds that turn, doesn't he?
He saw where the Honda was faster, and he just took his line away. So, obviously a great driver there.
He's doing the job well. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio, the runoffs and showroom stock C. Late in the going now, just coming up on a couple of laps to go. There is Joel Liparini, who sits in the 3rd spot. And Krista, ever since he had that brief off in turn 1, he's just lost touch with the leaders.
Yeah, I know. That battle for first about there between Taylor and Sachinski is really what's going on here on the track, but Liparini comfortably in third. He's trying to hold on that position, but something to keep in mind, we've been talking a lot about tires. He's using the hand-cooked tires. Now, these are built to come in late in the race, so when the other guys start to burn off their tires, Liparini should be good to go. But the bad news for him, it's gotten a lot cooler down here, so I don't think tire heat wear is at least going to be an issue, guys.
Well, keep in mind, though, that he was in third on the last lap last year and ended up winning the national championship. So he's sitting there. Maybe this is right where he wants to be at this stage. I'm kidding, of course. You never want to see it. But take a look at this off from his onboard shot, Dan.
Yeah, he just got wide, really wide, up over the curb, still in the gas, hard on the rev limiter, back on the pavement. You know, it could have knocked the toe out over that big curve. It's a little deceiving in the TV here. It's a large, large curve.
Gotta love front drive, man. It never lift.
Yeah,
keep her pinned.
Gas on, we're going.
Exactly. Back on board Liparini live now, and you can see he's just completely lost touch with that lead group. But you know, it just happens sometimes. And obviously, he made a late switch to this mini as well, and it not as familiar to him. And one lap in qualifying was able really to throw one down, but lap after lap in race trim, that changes up a little bit. 2 laps now to go as Bob Taylor brings that beautiful mini right down there. Speed Taylor, I'm sorry, I said Bob Speed. And Sachinski, although Sachinski's closed it up a little bit. Last time by, it was over 1.2 seconds, and he's reeled him in just a little bit, so not a done deal yet.
No, it's not. It just takes one mistake to lose a half, 3/4 of a second, then you're duking it out fender to fender, so it doesn't look like it's going to get that close yet. Like this battle here is real close.
Yeah, this is real close. There is the number 70 of Ryan, and they're working it hard big time here as they come up and onto the front straight. That's Sam Ryan, and he's got the number, I believe that's the 74 right behind him of Lighthouser. And again, Jim just trying to bring that Mazda up to speed here and figure it out. Right in front of them is the 71, I believe, at Dulude. And these guys are in lockstep. One of the closest battles on the track right now.
They're just trying to get every spot they can, trying to finish in the top 10 if they possibly can here. And it looks like they got to run down the inside. He's going to shut the door.
Lighthouser was trying to figure out which guy to go with. It looked like.
Yeah, eeny, meeny, miny, mo there.
Out of the keyhole, onto the back straight they go. Again, you've got 71 Larry Dulude, 70 is Sam Ryan, and then the 74 of Jim Lighthouser.
Yeah, it looks like Dulude's car's pretty good on the straightaway. Not able to get a shot on the inside. A little bit of block there. Shoves it down the inside. He's going to get it.
Boy, 70 Ryan going for Dulude, covering big time. And I'm kind of surprised Ryan maybe didn't force that just a little bit. Now Lighthouser, with that momentum, he was able to carry and coming after him. And the thing is, they've got Wiley Timbrook, the 02, right behind them, the Rocky Mountain Division champ. And Wiley sets his opportunity. He's going. And Lighthouser got a little bit better drive than Ryan. Ryan feinted wide to dissuade Lighthouser just a little bit. And that little bit of defensive driving, there you see what that can do, because Dulude up front now has himself 5 car lengths.
Yeah, that's a very hard place to pass. The guy's got to be a lot slower to get by there.
Through Thunder Valley, this trio comes now, and as Dulude has opened it up just a little bit. Again, Ryan sits in the 14th spot at this stage. And I'm sorry, I've been saying Lighthouser. That's the 24 of Sirota. The numbers, a little tough to read, in his first runoffs appearance. So he's doing a great job. I was comparing him to Jim Lighthouser. He's got to be happy with that. As a matter of fact, he's running in front of Jim right now.
Yeah, it looks like he got a good run off the carousel there. That's gonna be hard. Gonna have to force it through.
Side, and he just goes in and forced it. Is exactly what he did.
And that's gonna really hurt the 70 because he took all that momentum out of the corner, and you can see he just pulls away. Now he's got his sights set on. Where's that? Sorry.
Dulude up in front. Yeah, the 71. Very difficult number to read. I'm surprised the SCCA timing and scoring staff haven't chatted him up just a little bit. Meanwhile, on board with Sachinski as we are working our final lap now, as they are coming out of the S's and working madness at this stage. And this is a great corner here, and up and over. And Sachinski needs a little bit of a miracle at this stage, I think.
Yeah, he does. It looks like Taylor made the right choice on the tires. That was a last minute change there, and it looks like they're going to hold on.
And the crew's getting just a bit anxious here as he's coming now into the carousel for the last time. And Sachinski very quick into the carousel, swinging out. There's a car up front. I don't know that it's going to affect Taylor, but Sachinski got a great run. It's a short run, though, up to the checkered flag stand. There it is, and the checkers fly. Pete Taylor has done it, but Sachansky, when it was 1.2 seconds last lap, 0.4 of a second at the flag. So he ran a lap hugely quick. Sachansky did, just not enough.
Yeah, just not enough there. He might have let off a little bit just to make sure he was going to get through that corner and not have the traffic play into it. But I'm sure he's an excited guy. Here we go for the...
This is our battle with Ryan and Sirota and Dulude. And right now, Dulude is under attack from Sirota. After Sirota got by Ryan, he has run down Larry Dulude in very short order. But again, too little too late perhaps here onto the front straight. Dulude clips the curb, not going to hurt his momentum enough, and Dulude is going to hang on to 13th. And Ryan will be, we saw that slotted back to 15th. Sirota, in his first runoffs appearance late in the race, was doing some serious racing at this stage. Meanwhile, here we go a little bit further back in the pack. Here's the number 5 of Ken Payson as he comes whipping onto the front straight in 21st spot. Costello right behind him, that black car, in 38th place, bringing that up as well. And another good run for the Mini Cooper with place. This is a car of the future, I think, in this class. Obviously it won the gold, but it's been well placed everywhere.
It has. You know, it's a pretty lightweight car, fairly new to the racing part of it, and I think they're just finding their own, and looks like they did good.
Doing a bit of celebrating, I would think, Sandy.
Well, David Thoker's down here. He just got on the radio and called Pete's wife, Renee. What'd she say?
She said that she's heading over here right now to carry the checkered flag for him.
That's exciting. Great run, you guys. You know, there was a little bit of thinking about what to do with the tires, and it all played out for you.
I don't know who said that the Hoosier tires go away, but I mean, he was turning the same lap times at the end that he did right in the middle there. So
pulled it off. Well, congratulations. They did it. Congratulations, David Thoker, the crew for Pete Taylor.
Well, the Hoosier tires do go away. They go away from the competition. He was very impressive, but we only had one caution in this race for 2 laps, not one lead change. I'd say those Hoosier tires of Pete Taylor, that's a pretty dominant run. We'll be right back to visit with him at Mid-Ohio. Coverage of the 2005 SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by High Endurance Oils from Mobil, the oil that's changing oil. Showroom stock C complete. Here's our unofficial look at the top 5. Taylor, Sachansky, Liparini. Walkie almost got Liparini at the end and then Ali Namey, but let's get right down for a winner's celebration. Sandy?
Pete Taylor, and coming in now to award the medal, a very emotional Renee, who was watching from over on the hill, golf cart, and ran down pit lane to meet him here for this hug. You know, so many years this family's been coming here, and you gambled a week before the runoffs, switch cars, switch tires, everything's upside down, but it paid off.
Yeah, boy, it sure did. This, I tell you what, this Mini handled great right out of the box. Tires were wonderful. We just hit the right combination at the right time.
You were watching Ryan for quite a while in your rearview mirror, and at one point he was starting to close on you, but just never seemed to get there. What were you thinking during that period?
Well, I knew Ryan would try and cool his tires a little bit, make a couple of runs at me. I just hoped I would have enough to hold him off, and we did.
And you did it. Congratulations, that's your new national champion, Pete Taylor. Krista?
We are down with second place finisher, number 56, Ryan Sachansky. And I guess the big question, Ryan, we'll let you get your silver medal here. The big question, if this had been a 21-lap race, would we have had a different winner?
Oh, it was really close. Pete and I had a great race the whole time. Pete's a great driver. Our tires held up great. The whole car held up great. Just couldn't catch the Mini.
All right, Ryan Sachansky, our silver medalist, guys.
Well, the margin was 0.4 of a second, so it was that close, and Sachansky gave it his all. And these two guys have done this all season long incentive, and it was Sachansky who won the division. Taylor comes back and wins the runoff, so great job there as we take a look at the full results. That battle between Liparini and Wallachie ended up being 2/10 when that all unfolded. Then Namey and Renee Marinis there as well, and Jim Lighthouse just never could get it quite figured out and ended up in the 16th spot in this one. We take a look at the rest of the field. Let's get back down and see if we can catch up with our third place finisher.
We are talking to Joel Liparini. And Joel, quite a battle up front, but you had to fight with everything you had to hold on to third for this podium finish.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Hankook first for the tires for getting us to third place. We had the tire there to go the distance. Unfortunately, I made a little boo-boo coming out of one, and we broke part of the engine, and we were just lucky to hold on. was a battling overheating and a slipping clutch the whole time.
Sounds like a day of adversity. He comes home even so with the bronze medal, guys.
Well, Dan, when we were listening to the onboard when he went off and you said he banged off the limiter, maybe he banged off it a wee bit too hard.
He could have. That curb could have hit the clutch rod and bent it and got it out of adjustment. That could have been why it was slipping. You could hear it. It was banging on the rev limiter pretty hard.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough ride going off over there, and it may have cost him big. But for Pete Taylor, boy, I tell you, everything went right, including the last-minute strategy calls, and that's very special indeed. That was a good race.
Yes, it was. It was very close. There was a little bit of carnage, but
there always is.
But these guys battle hard, and every spot you get in this class needs to be, a tough-fought battle.
It's well-earned indeed. Well, folks, thanks for joining us. For Sandy and Chris DeVoe and Dan Binks, I'm Greg Kramer. We're very happy you were able to join us for our coverage of the National Championship Runoff in the Showroom Stock C category for SCCA. Congratulations to all the competitors, but of course a special nod to our champion.